Welcome back, YouTubers. Mark here again, signing in with ExoticCar PlayPlace. Today I'm going to do basically a summary of the fuel economy of a Lamborghini Gallardo. Probably aren't too worried about it. I say for the most part, Lamborghini owners buy those cars with the expectation of poor fuel economy. They expect it, they know it, they understand it's part of the packaging. But irregardless, situations now where some of the Gallardos, because they were produced in such mass numbers, they are becoming much more affordable. Much more affordable to buy. Unfortunately, not more affordable to maintain, other than the fact that the internet is a beautiful thing. Just like my channel here and many other channels out there, the internet and YouTube is chock full of information. How-to videos on repairing this, how to replace that, how to upgrade this. That's all great stuff. Today though, we are going to talk specifically about fuel economy in the Lamborghini Gallardo, and even more specifically the 5-liter version, so the pre-LP cars, because that piece of information is important for that second and third generation owner of a Gallardo. Just as information on how to do it videos, people like that who are buying, your $100,000 Lambos now, do like to understand what the costs are and the implicated associated issues can be owning a Lamborghini Gallardo. And of course, fuel economy ties right in there with ownership costs. So here we go. We've talked about insurance and some other factors. I've done some how-to videos, but today we're going to talk about fuel economy. And fuel economy is important because, the way you drive has a significant impact on it. Unfortunately, the basic economics that we live in today and the climate that we have, our country's leadership has a big factor on oil and gas prices, and those prices directly impact us in our pocketbook. So that's why I'm going to talk today. Yesterday, I did a video just like this on the E60 M5 fuel economy, and I know there's a lot of people looking at those cars because they are such huge performance bargains. Today, I felt compelled to share with you on the Lamborghini Gallardo side, being as I have one of each, and they're both 5-liter V10 engines, both producing about 500 horsepower. So today we're going to talk about the Lamborghini Gallardo. Let me just start out by saying the V10 is a special engine. And contrary to popular belief, the Lamborghini struggles with the fact that, sales on their higher end Lambos, the V12 cars from the Murcielagos, it started, really Countach, Diablo, Murcielagos, and now up to the Aventadors. There's no question those are the flagship cars. But the Gallardo is such a great performance bargain that Lamborghini had to hold back. And they held back on things, for example, like the doors. And, a lot of the other features, the car is more or less dumbed down. It's a baby Lambo is kind of the way it's referenced. But the V10, in my opinion, although it being smaller engine of slightly reduced power over the V12, is not necessarily an inferior motor. On the contrary, by design, the V10 motor, in conjunction with Audi and Cosworth, who assisted in designing and manufacturing this engine, did a great job in putting together a real spectacular race engine that exceeded 100 horsepower per liter, which is sort of that threshold where you'd consider the car containing a race engine. But because it's a race engine, it does basically consume fuel at a race engine's level. Now we know that the E60 M5 had a rating of about 10 miles per gallon in the city and about 21 miles per gallon on the highway. That's a rating, strictly a rating. Those ratings, if you watched my last video, you'll know There's no way that I even came close to achieving particularly the highway ratings. Not even close. And the same thing goes for the Lamborghini Gallardo. Now there's a difference here. The E60 has a 70-liter fuel tank. The Lamborghini, fortunately, however, did something right here, and they provided a 90-liter fuel tank, which gives you substantially more range. Now, what kind of range? Well, if you refer to my last video, the E60 M5, I was only able to get 350, maybe 400 kilometers on a full tank of fuel. Well, that gets expensive. It gets expensive, and the frequent stops become a real pain in the you-know-what. Now, the Lamborghini Gallardo, at least it doesn't have range anxiety like you get kind of in the E60. The Lamborghini Gallardo, although it gets similar mileage, it also matches about 10 miles per gallon, but it does about 20 on the highway. So versus the E60's 21 or 22. It's very, very close in specification for fuel mileage from the E60, which totally makes sense. They're both V10 engines. They both produce 500 horsepower. And you got to expect power and the sound, the unique noises that the V10 pump out, such as you find in the Gallardo. Can't be matched anywhere, almost at any price. Again, we talk about previous videos where I've said, in my opinion, the V10 motors, some of which are the Gallardos, and of course the Carrera GT, the Lexus LFA, and some of these other hot rods with the V10s, in my opinion, produce some of the nicest, sexiest sounds in supercars today. So the sounds and the performance and actually the ease of maintenance all tie in together. But of course, fuel economy comes at a cost. Something has to give. The fuel economy is not exactly riveting, and obviously the way you drive a Lamborghini is going to have a significant impact on the way the fuel mileage returns to you. Now, so what is that saying? I'm not sure what that says, but I will tell you this much. The fuel economy by both of these vehicles is so poor that the pickup truck that I towed the Lamborghini home with the Lamborghini in an enclosed trailer behind it, was still getting as good gas mileage as my unloaded Lamborghini Gallardo. Now, the plus side is, of course, like I just mentioned, the range that you get with the Gallardo. 90-liter tank is a decent size, so you are able to actually go a fairly significant distance. And I found that out actually this summer because the way it turns out, I went on a drive with some good friends of mine. We had a guy in a 911 Turbo. We had friends in a couple of Ferraris, a 458s and 360s. We had a few of us out on a cruise, and we went out on a big highway drive, on the highway. The kind of drive we at least used one tank of fuel. So it was a pretty good drive. We went out in the country, went for a good little rally. And I can tell you right now, as poor as the economy is in the Lamborghini, would you believe that the only guy that had to fill up was the 911 Turbo before we got home? It's funny enough, the Lamborghini Gallardo, the Ferrari 458s, we all made it home on that same tank of fuel, but the Porsche did not. So a lot of it is, how hard do you push the car? How hard are you driving it? Of course, other factors that will impact your fuel economy are elevation. Are you close to sea level or not? Are you really on it really hard? What's your cruising RPM like? Are you the type that typically revs down a bit, for long trips? If you're not needing that passing power, do you typically shift up a couple of gears to drop your revs? All those things play a significant factor in fuel economy. So I just wanted to share with you guys the fuel economy of the Lamborghini Gallardo. Unfortunately, I would quantify mine as being around 13 to 14 miles per gallon on the city and the highway, which is a very, very close match to my E60 M5. But it's a very far reach from what the critics are telling you, close to 20 miles per gallon. I didn't even get near that. Like I said, I was getting closer to 13 to 14 miles per gallon. Does this play a factor in the ownership? Does that sway my attitude about the car? Not at all. You have to expect a supercar is going to suck gas. Like the old term, sucking gas, hauling ass. It is not easy on the fuel. But again, to circle around here again and talk about the second or third generation owners of the Lamborghini Gallardos, those folks are generally a little bit more cognizant of their budgets. They don't have as much money to spend, so they're looking at the details on the fuel economy, the cost of insurance, the cost of repairs. And those people are just like me and a lot of you guys out there. We're just trying to be smart about it. We're just trying to understand where the costs are before we get into one of these cars. Let me just explain, it has not impacted me in a negative way, although be prepared for some poor fuel economy from the Lamborghini. That's pretty much what I expected, and I was not let down. So everybody, I just want to quickly summarize that. For those guys that were wondering what the fuel mileage is on an E60, and in this case, we're talking about the Lamborghini Gallardo. I've had questions for both cars. I just wanted to summarize and share that with you because that's one piece of the puzzle that people consider when they're looking at buying a used supercar. What are all the costs associated with that ownership? And so that just summarizes it, everybody. I sure do hope that you guys like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do. There's going to be some great drives coming up. Much more great content from Lamborghini content like today we're talking. The BMW E60 content, my X5 repairs, and the issues that I've had with that thing. And numerous test drives. Word has it on the street, I have a really cool test drive coming up very soon in the relative near future. Stick around, we're going to talk about that in days to follow. But for now, please do share, like, and subscribe. Talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How's that?